All right, it's the fastest 15 minutes in social media and on the internet. Hi, I'm Judson Powell. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your friends, family, and even people that you hate. Anyway, but what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the dumbing down of the African American. We'll use that term, in respect for Jesse Jackson, but or the descendants of slaves here in America, or whatever they're calling us these days. We always get a new name pretty much every decade. But anyway, so I want to talk about that because this is, to me, is like a very important issue that's going on right now. And even though it's not being brought up in the media or in the mainstream, and it probably never will be, but here's the thing. The problem is we are dumbed down. We are so dumbed down that it's unreal. It's pathetic. And I'm trying to just enlighten everybody about what's going on. And this is what's going on. What's really going on is the fact that we do not respect our ancestors, the people who have lived, made the transition to the afterlife, and now we have their information, we have the things that they've written, the things that they said, all of those things. But we don't subscribe to any of that. We don't look to it, and we don't honor it. Okay, which is something that our ancestors, that the original ancestors did. So, back thousands of years ago, the ancestors, or to be an ancestor, was considered to be the highest position. The second thing is that now we don't listen to elders. I hear young people, even I've been told on several occasions, oh, well, you old and blah, 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 blah. Well, I remember there used to be a saying, say you don't get old being no fool. And, and with age comes wisdom, and all of those type of things that used to be said in our community. But no longer are those things really said in the community. And as a matter of fact, a lot of times our elders and our ancestors, the things that they said and they did, are discounted and thrown away. And because of that, we are in peril. We are in a lot of peril simply because of those different things. Spiritually, remember, people are generational. Curses are generational. Blessings are generational. So if you leave out generations, guess what? Curses and blessings either are passed or are not passed. Listen to me again. Remember, if you forget about generations, then curses are passed and blessings are not passed. Okay, because of the things that we do generationally. And you see people all the time. Oh, he act just like his daddy, or he's just like this, or he's just like that, or there are things that you cannot explain. And the reason why you can't explain them is why? Because those things are passed through DNA, through genetics, through the blood. The life force. One of the things that the scriptures say, the life force is in the blood. And things are passed in the blood, whether we realize it or we want to admit it or not. They are. And so those things are very important. And as time has progressed, and then we don't have leadership, and we don't have enough leadership, and people do not listen to the people that are in leadership. Why? Because the media has basically engineered systematically a way to keep us dumb. And the way they basically keep us dumb is the only people that they put out there in front of black people are who? Entertainers and athletes. If you're not a rapper, just like right now, there's a move to put who? JayZ. JayZ is the most known. He's not the richest African or descendant of Africans. He is not. There are many. In fact, there's and why can't I think of his name? And I hate that. And see, that's another thing. I can't even recall the guy's name. But the richest African or descendant of Africans, they're actually Nigerian. They're not even. So we have people that are smarter, that are wiser, that have. And the only reason why any of the rappers or the or basically the athletes have money is because they have a way to invest. All right, they have somebody gave them, and I'm not discounting their talent or their work ethic or anything like that, because in order to be a professional at anything, it takes a lot of work. Okay, in order to play, just like in order to play 82 games of basketball, every year, that's hard on your body and it takes work. I'm not discounting or whatever 162 games of baseball or 18 or whatever many games it is of football. It's very hard on your body. Don't get me wrong, but it's a physical skill. It doesn't take actual wisdom and knowledge in order to do that. And the only thing that can really deliver you from anything is the actual wisdom and knowledge. I mean, and even so, you can go to whatever scriptures you want and you'll talk, but look, what the fear of what wisdom and knowledge is the beginning of the fear of the Lord, right? Or that's what they would want you to believe. Okay, but we don't have any of these iconic people, like the guy that runs Amazon, or a Bill Gates, or people like that who are literally household names. We don't have those kind of. Robert Smith put his name in the hat, but he's not talked about every day, and so we don't have young men and young women out there who are aspiring to be Robert Smiths. And just like I said, even the same time, we can reel it back to Morehouse again. Morehouse College, right now they're in the middle of a little bit of a sexual scandal. But let's just talk about that. The valedictorian of that class turned down a Rhodes Scholarship. Why? Because the Rhodes family was involved in, you heard the movie Blood Diamond. Well, they were involved. They're kin to the De Beers family, and they killed thousands of Africans in the bottom of those diamond mines, trying to harvest diamonds, which, by the way, according to some sources, aren't even rare. They just harvested them, and then basically they marketed them to the world, as they're being rare, and so they could make a lot of money. So let's not get the game twisted. We're dumbed down. So we have rappers like right now, and I'm not saying, but we've got Killer Mike, and people like that are the leaders, or that are the ones that have the mouthpiece, or David Banner, or whatever. I think that's his name, David Banner. I was talking to my kids, because I don't know his music, and I'm really, and I'm like, okay. And then they played some of his music for me, and I'm like, he's talking about Pimps and Hoes. He's on Pimps and Hoes. Okay, so he's on Pimps and Hoes, but this dude is a leader in our community. And I don't care how, look, there are people out there, just like that, the guy that was the valedictorian at Morehouse, he is a straight A student. He should be the one that should be out in front of everybody, because he's studied, he has wisdom, he has knowledge, he understands what's going on. Those are the types of people that need to be put in the forefront of whatever we are doing. Just like look at Malcolm X and Dr. King. Malcolm X was a brilliant scholar. When he was in jail, he read every book he could get his hands on. And that's why he was so eloquent. If you don't put something in you, you can't get it out of you. If you're not studious, if you don't study, and you don't know anything, then you can't spit something out. And these rappers, yeah, they spit stuff out, but it's ignorance. And then and the first thing they do is like, okay, so when I go and I try to look up these, even the name Killer Mike, it sets a precedent. It sets a thing. We have a tremendous problem with fratricide, meaning the killing of each other, the Cain versus Abel or whatever syndrome. That that's the thing that we are fighting against. That's destroying our community. That's what's destroying our community. So you got a guy out there, the Killer Mike, and everybody thinks that that's cool. And over time, I'm like, and I was there at the foundation of rap music, as a radio personality and DJ and all of that. And I'm just telling you, the music was not the same. You know, we were talking about when it first came out, all the rappers, they were just talking about partying, hanging out with each other and having a good time. It wasn't no all this stuff now. It's demonic. You know, it's absolutely demonic. It's evil. And see, and that's why I keep telling everybody doesn't understand. Look, everything is, there's nothing new under the sun, but it's how you use what's under the sun. It's how you use what you have. And you can, just like one thing, anything has three purposes. And I tell people that all the time. Everything that's been created has three, at least two, and most of them have three purposes: a good purpose, an evil purpose, and a purpose that's somewhat neutral. Everything. And I always, when I'm preaching, I always use, the example of a gun. I can take a gun, I could point it at you, I could rob you, I could shoot you, I could kill you. But I could also take that same gun and I can go out into the woods and I can hunt and feed my family. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same gun, but it's the intent of the person who has the thought. And that's the problem. So you get guys like these rappers. It's like, look, they don't care. And the thing about it is, and then what it does is it makes everybody. So if I put JayZ out there, if I put him out there, and he's a billionaire and blah 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 blah. What does that do? That's, once again, is something that I talk about all the time. It's the Pied Piper, because they say, well, he says, look, man, he made $1 billion doing this. So I can make $1 billion doing this. So what happens? I create a whole bunch of mini JayZs, and the music and the things that they put out there. This man has his wife out there exposing his wife. Which are things that morally and whatever I don't agree with. You ain't never seen my wife like that. and knowing her, you never will. But they'll do anything in order to what? In order to honor the almighty dollar, in order to honor their God, which is money. They want to honor their God. So their God is money. Their God is fame. Their God is all that. That's what their God is. And then we look at it and we see, hey, they're living their best life. So I want to live my best life. So if I can live my best life, then I'm gonna imitate them, and I'm gonna do what they did in order that I might get to the point that they're at. And that's what they're putting out in front of our young people, as opposed to, and the same thing with Robert Smith. Robert Smith has way more money than JayZ. But nobody is putting out there, maybe Boyce Watkins might be putting it out there to invest and to go into business and make money, and showing them how to make money. Robert Johnson, who founded BET, he sold BET for $3 billion. He had $1 billion a long time ago. But nobody, he's not pushed out there in front of everybody. Not that I'm a great fan of Robert Johnson, but at least he did things by what? Through education and knowledge and wisdom, and went and was able to amass $1 billion. And there are other Africans and descendants of Africans who have done that, and they need to be put to the forefront. They need to be pushed out so that our young people have role models, have positive role models, other than seeing the athlete or the entertainer. And the athlete, at least the athlete is halfway, at least it's a wholesome thing, and it's not out there where they're promoting, killing and the usage of drugs and misogyny and all of those type of things. Those things are not being put forth. But the bottom line is, that's what they want our young people to see. And that's why in the mainstream media, that's all you ever see. And that's all you're going to see. Anytime award shows come up, and then isn't it kind of coincidental that every time an award show comes up, they kill somebody or they do, and it's like, I'm like, hey, people are like, well, you got too many conspiracy theories, but you go back and look at hey, go to the tape. That's all I'm saying. Go to the receipts. That's all you got to do, and you'll see that what I'm talking about is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. But yeah, so we need to start getting some scholars out there that got more than just just a couple of bars or can throw a football or slam a basketball. Anyway, that's the fastest 15 minutes in social media. My name is Judson Powell. Subscribe, like. I love all of you. I love y'all. And that's why I do this stuff. Not because I'm a hater. I love you.